Save it for the cocktail party. Some of the best advice on communication I ever received. My name is Bruce Rule. I'm a writer and editor, and I help my clients communicate more effectively through their social media, reports, speeches, articles, basically anything they need written or edited. And I also teach public speaking workshops, and I have some public speaking clients over the years. And last year I published a book called Heartfelt Goodbye, How to Write and Deliver the Eulogy Your Loved One Deserves. And I had an interesting coincidence happen this week. Earlier this week, I published a blog post about some of the best communication advice I have ever received, called Save It for the Cocktail Party. Back in college, I took an art criticism class, and we would hand in our reviews, and the professor would go through and she'd cross out anything that was kind of interesting, kind of cool facts, but didn't really fit with the theme of the story. And she wrote in the margin, save it for the cocktail party. Well, we were college students. We'd never been to a cocktail party. We had no idea what she was talking about. Finally, somebody asked. And she said, as you go through life, you should collect some interesting stories and facts. Put them in your back pocket. Keep them with you. Because someday you're going to be at a cocktail party when one of those god-awful silences descends. Nobody knows what to say, and everybody's feeling awkward and looking down at the floor. And you're going to pull out one of those interesting stories and save the day, and you will be a hero to everybody. Well, that was great advice. And I've used that throughout my career to establish rapport with other people, to paper over awkward silences, as she said. And I find that when you can do that, you increase your likability. And when you increase your likability, you become a more persuasive and effective communicator. Because always remember this basic fact. When people are persuaded by you, it's because it's you, not your facts and not your data. You are the one that they're persuaded by. They're listening to you. And that's really important to remember. And I say it's kind of interesting that I wrote this blog post this week because just a few days after I posted that blog post, a Harris poll came out saying that Gen Z is having a hard time adopting to the workplace because they don't have the social skills to communicate with other people. They don't know what to talk about. And I thought to myself, well, if they read my blog post, they know that they should develop some interesting stories and facts that they could always bring up when they're in an awkward situation. Something to do with what happened in the news, perhaps not political, but something that happened over the weekend, some interesting fact about the city that they're in, or something that they see outside, anything like that they could bring up and they could share to sort of get people to talk. And it's interesting that came out this very week. Now, I will caution, when I say interesting stories, I mean interesting to the other person, not just to you. Because you don't want to be bragging. You don't want to be talking about how you won a lot of money in Atlantic City over the weekend. That's not interesting to other people. So you want to have an interesting story that other people will find interesting. The kicker to this is that I thought, well, I wonder what the professor's doing now. Now, granted, I was in college 40 years ago, so for all I know, maybe she was no longer among the living. And I looked her up because she has an unusual name, Windela, and I found some news articles that said she retired as an art critic for the Chicago Sun-Times. And I thought, well, maybe she's on LinkedIn. So I looked her up, and sure enough, she's on LinkedIn. So I sent her a connection and a little message saying that probably don't remember me. I was a student of yours back in the 1980s, and I've lived by some of your advice. Save it for the cocktail party. And she messaged back saying, I don't remember ever telling you that. She added, but I think about it, and you know what? I've lived my life according to that advice, and it's done me the world of good, so I'm glad it helped you too. What advice do you have for Gen Z about how to get along in the workplace, what to talk about? I'd really be curious if you have any advice. Put it in the comments down below. And let me know if you think Save It for the Cocktail Party would help, because it certainly done me a world of good, and I hope it does a world of good for anybody that's listening to this video. Please like and share this video, because I do think it'll help everybody, and subscribe, because that's helpful for me and YouTube. And I'll put the blog post down below as well, the link. I'd be happy if you could go and read it. It gives a few more details. And until next week, take care.